Tabitha Brown recently said it's okay to go back to work if your business isn't making money. And I agree with her heart, but here's the problem. What if there are no jobs to go back to? Hi, I'm Shantae Roddy, and I help women entrepreneurs become capital ready and unstoppable. On this channel, I break down what lenders, grantors, and investors are really looking for so that you can stop getting denied and start getting funded. Now, let me give you some context, okay? So, in the last few months, 300,000, not 300, 300,000 Black women have been pushed out of corporate jobs, many from DEI departments, federal agencies, and public sector roles. Entire teams in DOE and HSS were slashed. Corporations are replacing humans with AI. And for the first time since 2021, there are more job seekers than open roles. Can you believe that? More job seekers than open roles. So when someone says, just get a job, that advice doesn't always match reality. Let me make a few points here because context matters. Jobs aren't as available as they once were. So example, if I know a woman who applied for 50 plus jobs and didn't even get a call back. Others, highly qualified, had to settle for part-time roles, making less than what they made 10 years ago. So, yes, a job can be a bridge, but we can't assume it's always an option. Let me know if you've ever been in this position. I know I have, and I've been a business owner for over 11 years. And at a few points in my journey, I did consider going back. I never thought that I would, right? Never thought that I would. And at the time that I thought that I would, I was putting in so many applications, a lot. And there was just no one biting, right? No callbacks, no emails, let's saying, let's move to the next step. A lot of times going ghosted, like no response at all. And so I thought to myself, okay, I might as well keep pushing. Okay, how can I pivot from where I am now since the job market isn't responding to me, right? And so I have this business. What can I do to move this business forward? Okay? So, another point is why many women turn to entrepreneurship. Not everyone starts a business because they think, they're too good for work, okay? So an example is women I work with, they were laid off after 20 years being in corporate America. And instead of waiting months or years to land another job, they turned their job, their job and their skills that they had gained into consulting businesses, and other coaching businesses, other types of businesses that really align with their gifting, right? Another client in healthcare, her department was downsized and she had no safety net. And instead of sitting still, she started a wellness business. So they didn't choose entrepreneurship because it was glamorous, because it definitely is not glamorous. Okay. They chose it because of survival. And because they believe betting on themselves was better than waiting on someone else's approval. Another point I want to make is the gap in the conversation. So here's a real question. If jobs aren't hiring and if entrepreneurship isn't working because businesses can't access capital, where does it leave us? So this is where conversations often stop. People hear go get a job or they hear grind harder in your business. Neither answer fully addresses the reality. So here's the truth. The issue isn't entrepreneurship itself. The issue is fundability and community. Here's what that looks like. Fundability plus structure. Your hustle has your hustle has to look bankable on paper. That's how you access loans, grants, and investors. These are tools, right, that can help move you along in your journey and prevent you from getting stuck in those lower seasons, okay? Or when things come up and you have to be able to pivot in your business and you need to tap into a resource, financial resource, right, to hold you over for a certain period of time. And those resources are out there and they are available. We just need to know how to tap into them. Another thing is collective economies. Imagine 10 women pooling resources to buy a building together instead of renting individually. That's group economics. That's where we miss out a lot. We don't understand the power in collective, right? The power in the collective. You may fall short on your own, okay? Because we all have weaknesses, we all have strengths, and we all have a certain capacity that we can carry alone. But baby, when we get together collectively, that is a power unlike any other. That is what makes us unstoppable. Think about mutual aid and bartering, okay? You have not, okay, so you may not have $5,000 for marketing, okay? You may not have that budget, but maybe you can trade for legal skills with someone else who does web design or provide some other service or offering that you need to move your business forward. So I have a peer right now. She has a platform called Barter Black. Amazing platform, amazing idea, right? Because so many times we get stuck in our entrepreneurial journey and we feel like we don't have the budget, right? We don't have the financial resources to get the help that we need. uh-uh there is an opportunity for you on any budget to get the help that you need. And oftentimes we don't even know about systems like a bartering system, exchanging services, exchanging products for services, or your service for another person's service. Without that is the currency. So you get what you need, someone else gets what they need without even exchanging a dollar, right? That becomes the currency. Your gifting, your solution to another person becomes, something that they can access in exchange for something else of that is of value. Pivoting. I once said, I think maybe about 1 or 2 years ago, like during COVID, and even before, like different times, there's a shifting. I can just feel it. Understand that you may have something that works great at one period of time, and then there's a shift that happens, and what you're doing, what you're offering, just isn't aligned with the time and the season that we're in, or you're in, or your clients and customers are in, that requires a shifting. An example of that was COVID, right? That created a shift in how we did everything, how we did business, how we related to people. So understand that, and as an entrepreneur, that it requires us to prepare ourselves to be able to shift at any moment in time. We have to be able to adjust at any moment in time in our business. So I've seen entrepreneurs shift from products to service, or from in-person events to digital, and suddenly cash flow turned around. So don't be so stuck on what you're doing or what you're offering, right? That you're not willing to shift from where you are to align with the season that you're in and what your gifts are calling you to. So I've been in that situation even recently, which called for my rebrand and my repositioning and my changing my offers entirely, right, to align with the times, because I was serving a population of small business owners and entrepreneurs who were stuck in survival mode. They were just trying to survive COVID. They were just trying to survive COVID, like keep their doors open, keep their people employed. So they weren't thinking transformation. And it was up to me to pivot, to make the to pivot and change the messaging so they can move with me to the next level. And so them being stuck, I was stuck, and then I had to take a step back and say, okay, where do I want to go next, right? Where is this next season calling me? Where am I going to be of the best service? And how can I properly articulate that? How can I package it up and put the messaging together that is going to speak to the audience that I know needs the solutions that I offer? So don't be afraid to pivot. It is not anything to be discouraged about or be ashamed about. I'm the queen of starting over, reinventing myself over and over and over again. So think about it. Is it time for you to pivot? And then coaching and mentorship. Coaching and mentorship is so important. At every stage of business, we should be seeking out a coach or mentorship, whether that is individual coaching, group mentorship, getting part of a community. That is so important than working in a silo where you're not able to get the help that you need to overcome the humps that you're and the hurdles that are going to come. Expect that they will come, but there are solutions out there to help you overcome those hurdles that you're going to experience. You don't have to do it alone. Having someone to guide you through funding, strategy, structure makes a difference between staying stuck and scaling. Jobs may not always be an option, but entrepreneurship can be. And if you do it right, and if we lean in, right? Lean in on each other, structure, funding, community, turn a hustle into a business that lasts. And remember, we rise faster when we rise together. So, do you agree with Tabitha Brown? Is going back to work the best option if your business isn't making money? Let me know in the comments. And if jobs aren't hiring, what do you think entrepreneurs should do instead? Pivot, find funding, or something else? Let me know. I want to hear from you because I know most of us have been in this place at some part of our journey. And if we haven't, you can expect that you will be in this position. So it's good to ask yourself this question now and then allow your answers to help empower other people in the community. Now, in closing, go ahead and book a fundability fix if you need help filling those gaps in your journey to seek capital for your business. Join our Business in a Day clinic if you are at the starting point needing that foundational structure that is going to set you up for success to get a yes, and the success and the success for that you will have in growing your business. And even if you have been in business and you miss those foundational steps that are keeping you stuck from getting capital, from being able to get access to contracts and other opportunities, enroll in the business clinic. And then if you need individual mentoring or coaching, or you want me to be a guest speaker for your organization or group, I'm happy. I welcome the opportunity to share this gifting to help other entrepreneurs soar in their journey. Together, we're building more than businesses. We're building pathways to wealth, access, and opportunity. Stay connected because your next yes could be right around the corner. See you in the next video.